What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about how to use a rocker step and when you can use a rocker step and what that actually is for those of you that do not know, okay? So I think this video will give you guys a lot of value at the top of the route, learning how to create some separation, especially in those off-man situations, okay? But also, fellas, if you guys want to improve your route running in 10 days, you want a specific 10-day schedule with all the drills and technical points you need to do to become a better route runner, check out that very first link in the description. It's a 45-minute long video where we break down every single drill you need to do to improve your route running in 10 days. It's a full schedule. Again, very first link in the description. Hope we can get you guys on that soon. Let's get started. So this video right here, we're going to be talking about he's running a speed out against an inside leverage DB. So let's talk about this. So he attacks that leverage, gives him that quick little 1-2, that rocker step, and then he's able to accelerate out. So we're going to be talking about a couple different situations. So this is just your basic rocker step, close the distance, and we're going to talk about this route. So now, first things first, this DB's inside shade, right? About 5 to 7 off. He's going to be in this back pedal, right? So what's the main thing I want to do? I want to close the distance. If I make this rocker step right here, and yeah, so what, I get him to jump, he's going to have a lot of time to react. He's going to have a lot of space to react because I'm not closing the distance. When you close the distance and you get that DB on his heels or you quote-unquote step on his toes, that's going to move him off this platform. Now, the reason why this rocker step is a great thing to use when when it's an inside leverage DB and you got an outside breaking route, we're going to take a look at another example here in a second. The thing about this is that we want to threaten him to the inside, right? Because that's why he's trying to take it away. He's inside shade because he has no help to the inside. The sideline is his help, so he's trying to force us to the outside so he has some help. He can play on this inside hip, and we just shorten the field for the quarterback. So if I go here, I attack his leverage, and I give him this great little one. You see how he gives this outside move, throws back to the inside, and I get him to jump right here because I'm selling like I'm just making one hard cut, running a post, running a dig, maybe just something inside breaking like a bender. That's going to get him over anxious because he is taught inside shade, do not get beat across your face. So that's why this rocker step is a great move to use. And that's a really detailed explanation of why to do it. Yes, the rocker is great because it just, in simple terms, makes him think you're going one way, then you get out the other way. But that's why it works. You got to be able to start thinking like a DB. Why is he lined up like that? And incorporating that into your own game. Okay, so now let's talk about the mechanics of this. When a DB's an off man, where's he supposed to be watching? He's supposed to be watching these hips, right? So that's what I got to be able to sell with. Guys will take this rocker step and they'll just step and their upper half stays completely square. They'll just step, and their upper half does not move at all. You guys got to throw your upper half to the inside. You got to throw your body like it's a crossover, okay? It's the only way this is going to work. That's the only way you're going to be able to get some separation is when you sell here. So you see when he takes that first step, there's a head fake to the outside, then he throws back to the inside. And you see how much he's able to turn, how much he's throwing his hips in this direction, but also he keeps his toes closed. He keeps his toes forward because if you guys can separate your upper and your lower, you'll be able to get some separation at the top of the break. Your lower half, you want to be able to keep your toes forward so that weight's on the inside arch of your foot so you can have that explosion and drive out, but your upper half sells. Because if he were to open up this toe, his hips would open up, and then if he was trying to come out of this break, he would have this long, looped out route, and this DB would have all the time in the world to recover because he's not cutting that thing straight across, okay? So make sure that we throw with my upper half, keep my toes closed so I could get that DB to jump, and you see how well he's able to push off of that right leg because he kept those toes closed. I'm not saying point your toes inward because that's a good way to hurt yourself, but keep that weight on the inside part of your foot so you could have some explosion and actually shoot out towards the sideline. Now, big thing about a rocker step to get some space. When I get this DB to jump and I use my upper half, right here is the make or break point because a lot of people can get a DB to do this. A lot of people can do all the fancy moves, but can you accelerate? Can you keep the separation that you got from this DB? That is the #1 key. So you see how he continues to drive his arms out, uses that cut to have some explosion, and he runs out of this break. That's a great example right here of how to use a rocker step. Let's watch the thing full speed one more time, then we'll get to 2 more examples. So he's coming out here, gives him that quick 1-2, gets him to jump, and then accelerate off this break. All right, so now we're going to be looking at the same idea. We're going to be talking about this tempo change before a rocker step, right? So now, you see how we're here. And now this like kind of rocker, it's more like an open field crossover, I would say. Some would consider it a rocker step because you're going 1-2, but you see how he breaks back up to the depth of the route. So it's kind of like he's hitting a 1-2, bursting back up, getting to the top of the route, and breaking off on this corner. So I kind of just want to talk about how you slow the tempo down on this thing because you see guys like Cooper Kupp do this a lot when they slow up and then they work that 1-2. Now, the thing about that is like the reason why he changes up tempo right here and he gives this little like hesitation skip. There's two reasons, right? One is to throw off the timing with the DB. Because before like a regular rocker step, like maybe you have like a 10-yard like kind of option where you could break out, you could hook up, whatever, and you're going to break out and you change up your tempo like this. It gets the DB guessing. He kind of sits there and he thinks about it, right? He's trying to match your tempo, and especially if you got the same guy over and over and over again throughout a game, and he's sitting there and he feels like he's got your speed, then you come out and change tempo. You hear Jerry Rice, there's a great video of him and Deshaun Jackson talking about tempo change and how that benefits guys and what that can do to your opponent. That's why we do it. But also the second reason is it helps you come to balance. You could be more explosive with that cut. You're not running full speed, so you have a little bit more balance, obviously, right? Now, I know we talk a lot about all the time, like, hey, you want to be full speed, be able to break on a dime, drop on a dime, get out of a break on a dime. But when you slow yourself down, obviously it's easier, right? But again, it's got to be used at the right time. This is maybe not something you open up with in a game. Maybe this is something you work when you're later on. Time goes by, maybe third, fourth quarter. This DB feels like he's got your speed. You're not getting as much space. All right, I'm going to change up the tempo a little bit and then hit him with the 1-2. And you see that's exactly what he does. He hits him with this 1-2, and you see how much he throws to the inside. And look, same technique we were talking about. Toes forward, weights on the inside arch, so he could actually push out of there. He stumbles a little bit. I'd like to see him keep his feet right there, but he's able to break this thing off and get to the corner. Obviously, a little bit of an overthrown ball. Got to keep him in the rectangle, but very important that you guys understand this like tempo change. When to change tempo, how can I change tempo, and then being able to get this DB off the platform so I could accelerate out. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. So it hesitates, throws that upper half, same technique we talked about, kind of more of an open field crossover concept, but I would consider a rocker step, and also based off of this, because I would consider this a rocker step as well. It's just something to get this DB guessing, right? So now, this is a rocker step in zone coverage, right? So we want to make Sherman sit on this inside move, and then he breaks up to an out route. So now, this is how you can use that rocker and get real creative with it. Odell's one of those dudes, man. He'll use, anytime he breaks off a one cut, he'll use a rocker step. Almost every single time. You watch practice film of him, he's working triple step rockers, he's working double, he's working all kinds of things. So watch this route right here. So he's running up, and he's going to give this 1-2, then burst up 1-1-2, burst up to the out route. Okay, I know it happens fast. That's why we're going to slow it down and play it in slow motion. So when he comes up here, you see how he gives this one outside move here, and he works that rocker step, right? And Sherman's like it's looking at him out of the corner of his eyes, looking at him out of his peripherals. So he sees him hit that 1-2, and he breaks to the inside. Sherman's sitting on this post. He's thinking Odell's just hitting a regular rocker step, going to run this post and try to split the gap. So what's he doing? He's overcommitting on this thing. He's thinking, okay, I want to drive on this post. Linebacker's sitting right here. Then what does Odell do? He just puts the brakes on, hits one step, and goes to this out route. So that rocker step can build on a lot of different things. Like maybe you just got like same thing, like a regular, let's talk about the technique of this, how you might be able to use this, right? So let's say you got a speed out, right? And let's say that speed out's on your third inside step. Maybe you break off and you go like you run up and you hit your second inside, and then you hit your third outside, and then you break up on the third inside. Like you maybe work like a triple step rocker, or like maybe you're working like a high, like a deep out, like in this case, and you do the same thing, but you burst up 2 more steps. It's all about having those different plans in your head and having those different tools in your arsenal based off of this rocker, right? So it can do a lot of different things. It could set up another route. You could use it to come out of a route. You could use it off of a tempo change. There's many different ways to use this 1-2 or this rocker step route to create you some separation, okay? Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Odell. I wanted to include this just to show that there's more than one way to do it. Now, some people ask, like, hey, when would you use this rocker step? Like, what kind of routes would you use it on? You wouldn't use it, like, so another example we could have had in here is, like, Justin Jefferson, right? So, like, he ran a route, I believe it was against the Bears, not 100% sure, but he used a rocker step, right? So he would do that rocker, so he'd be running up, and he was running a comeback route. But around on like let's say maybe it's his third outside step, he'd go here inside, then he'd burst up 2 more and then break off on a comeback, right? So it'd be your third inside, hit the third outside, sell inside for 2 more steps, then snap this thing off and break off to the comeback, right? So it's real important. That's another example of how you can use that rocker to build off of it. Just get that DB to sit inside for a second, and then we snap it back off to the outside. And now you'd use a regular rocker on like a post, corner. You could use it on a dig. You could use it for sure on like a 10-yard speed out. Anything short, not necessarily, I would say not really necessary. But again, it's just another tool that you have in your arsenal. You could use it when you restack a DB. It doesn't always have to be off man. You guys always comment and ask about off man, so that's why I wanted to include that. But when it's man coverage, you could restack him, hit that rocker step, right? You could attack a cover like 4 safety out of the slot, hit a rocker step. You could attack a corner like this, hit that rocker. Off man, always hit that rocker. So it's got to know when to use it, but also the technique behind this move is important. Let's watch it again full speed one more time. Great job using this to set up and run this speed out. Definitely should check out that Justin Jefferson route as well. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And again, guys, if you want to improve your route running in 10 days, you want a 10-day schedule of how you guys can improve your route running, check out that very first link in the description. Again, you won't regret that 10-day schedule. And I'll see you guys next time.